Chick, as you can see, well, there's a little bit of wind blowing today, isn't there?
That's right. And for all of you people that will be asking why this eye looks puffy and this eye looks like it's flat, I fell over my bed this morning, and this is the side with the makeup on. Yeah, there is.
I know. Can you see? Let's go look.
I know. See the little. I couldn't make up where it sliced my face though, but basically it's sort of poetic timing to go with all of this stuff we're doing today.
Yeah, slash or on. What is it? The
Yeah,
summer.
a lot of people say that's what it is. Slash. Drain the blood out, because that's basically what's happening now.
Well, one of the things we're going to find out is, that law of unintended consequences.
Oh, it's happening now, folks. Arnold Schwarzenegger is now leading an attack on the United States government to get money for the states. He said if Wall Street can get theirs, the states need ours. And he said something had to do with the fact that these people all have to come home for re-election.
Oh.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you, it was already said today by members of the United States House of Representatives that voted for it, that when they come back, they intend to change everything that's been passed and has to be changed, which means it's going to be another boondoggle. Of course, 10 seconds after that respected member of the House of Representatives said, we intend to correct the problems in this, the stock market took a dive.
So that's one of the reasons why the bailout passed and the stock market went down.
That's right, because actually the unemployment figures were far better than what they expected. So it tanked simply because a congressman opened his mouth, who was followed by other congressmen and senators, who said that this was the best we could get for the moment, and we intend to change it when we come back.
Oh, wait a minute, but this is, you got to kind of wonder, would it have been, okay, this is one, it's like the worst of two things. They felt like they had to pass it, but didn't want to pass it, and knew they wanted to change it.
We had an off-the-record this morning tell us that basically it only amounts to $250 billion to begin with, not $700 billion, and because the other $100 billion at the president's discretion will never be allowed to get spent, and the other $350 billion has to be with congressional approval total. So that he said this was simply too little, too late, and you let the hole in the dike become a crack.
Okay, so now how many pages were there?
Okay, well, this is how it started out. It was three pages originally, something very simple just to get it done. The House of Representatives expanded it to 110 pages. The Senate rewrote it to 440 pages.
Oh.
And if you go to www.moneybubble.net, on the front page there is a link to where you can go to that 440 pages. There are things in that are going to amaze you guys.
Well, actually, I think there's something in there to annoy everybody, isn't there?
Yeah, there's so much pork, it's unbelievable.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay. This is a summary of the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008. Try to find this thing on the internet. It took me 20 minutes to come up with where I can get a link to it.
So we've been looking, and we'll continue looking for you to bring you more information on it, because this is something taxpayers should be concerned about, because
nobody's read the thing. I heard one of the congressmen said that voted against it, said he had his staff trying to get through this thing, and he said it is so full of earmarks and slush.
It's almost like no one read the other stuff. They all put in their request that it be added to the list.
This were senators that put this stuff in. The House didn't get their shot at it.
Oh, that's true. That was the Senate bill.
That was the Senate bill.
Okay. One of the things you mentioned is the alternative minimum tax.
Yeah, they basically wiped. What it was, the Senate passed the alternative minimum tax, by a large margin. The House was going to let it lapse, because if they let it die, the House of Representatives, with Mr. Obama's full knowledge, we're going to have 26 million more people added to the tax rolls. And basically the House is griping now. They're saying, well, what this does, it just helps those rich people. No, this bill is a big tax break for the people that are making less than $200,000 a year also.
Well, actually, we have a whole entire separate video on that, on this alternative minimum tax.
That's right.
Yeah, so go ahead and take a look at that. But back to this, the summary of the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008.
That's what it's called.
Renamed from the bailout.
They call it EESA. Maybe that's why I haven't been able to find it. They've got it by initials. The government does that.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. On stabilizing the economy.
Yeah, it provides up to $700 billion. Well, I can tell you right now, it provides $250 billion. That's all it provides.
Well, it has the other ones if they meet the pass the bill. barriers.
The other one has to be, the President of the United States has to request it. Congress is not going to give him the money, folks. They've already said that we're going to hold hearings to adjust this when we come back.
Which is?
You know, the Democrats have said, what? We are going to readjust this bad bill when we come back.
No, do they come back before?
After the election. Then
Okay,
they'll know.
so there's going to be a whole new party in Congress.
There could be a whole, if the Democrats have sole control of all three houses, this bill is gone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it provides the secretary, if they actually had the money, to buy mortgages and other assets that are clogging up the balance sheets of financial institutions, making it difficult for working families, small business, and other companies to access credit. I can tell you that there's a general consensus that this is not going to add one more penny of credit to the economy. It's the little kid in Holland sticking his finger in the dike to stop the leak.
But sometimes it's what you need, although they still do need to do the...
They said that nothing from this bill will show any results until the next election term.
Oh.
So that's just basically
Stabilizing the market?
That's why it says Stabilization Act, because it's not going to do anything more than... It's just like you're bleeding to death, and they keep pumping blood into you to keep you from dying at that moment. It doesn't mean you won't die.
You know, actually, this is probably the perfect title for it, then, Emergency Economic Stabilization Act.
Yeah, but the next part is what was always in the bill, the other bill, from the day it was 110 and they got to 440. This was the one the Democrats wanted really badly.
And this was the key part that we've been talking about, which is the home ownership preservation, where it says the EESA requires the Treasury to modify troubled loans, many the result of predatory lending practices, wherever possible to help American families keep their homes. It also directs other federal agencies to modify loans that the owner controls. Finally, it improves the Hope for Home Owners program by expanding eligibility and increasing the tools available to the Department of Housing and Urban Development to help more families keep their homes.
Okay, but what it basically means is, if you bought a home you can't afford, they're going to keep you in that home no matter what, because they actually are going to own all these bad loans anyway. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to buy a new home, because it doesn't provide enough money to buy the new homes that are on the market. See?
Well, the other part is I was listening to some where they were talking about rewriting the loans.
Yeah.
And if you rewrite the loans, then the loans are, well, if you're basically upside down and the loan is more than the house, you're still...
Right now, 2 million families are upside down on their loans. You could not rewrite the loans to get them to where they can afford them. And since the Democrats are not going to allow you to lose your home, basically, okay, I know for a fact that I heard a newsman today said his grandson was preparing to file suit against the United States government over this mess. They actually, in this mess, there's a provision that says you can't sue them. But you cannot provide a bill that basically is discriminatory. This discriminates against people that wanted to buy homes, can't buy the homes because they have no credit, and the people that were paying for their homes and aren't going to get preferred treatment. So
see, that's the tricky part. That's that law of unintended consequences.
Yeah, well, they don't care. Election year.
Well, then you can guess what they're caring about. The next is the taxpayer protection.
The taxpayer should not be expected to pay for Wall Street's mistakes. Okay, folks, this is not Wall Street's mistakes. Wall Street didn't make these loans. Wall Street bought these loans.
Yeah.
They bought, okay, it was your bank that made the mistake.
Or wherever you got the loan from.
Wherever you got the loan. What Wall Street does is Wall Street, every week they buy loans from other people. That's how it works. And what they did was bought